Okay, so we're all using these incredible new AI tools, right? They're everywhere. But what if that convenience has a secret price tag, a cost to our own brains? Today we're diving into this really startling connection between AI and our brain health, and we're drawing on what some top neuroscientists are saying about it.
So let's just cut right to it. That AI tool you love, the one that makes you feel so much more productive, could it actually be making your brain weaker? I know, it sounds a little dramatic, right? But honestly, this is a question we absolutely have to ask.
47%? Just look at that number. I'm not going to give you any context just yet, but stick with me because in a minute you're going to understand exactly why this one number is causing such a stir among brain scientists.
You know, this quote from one of the experts really hits the nail on the head. We jump on convenience before we even think about the consequences. And isn't that true? We love that instant gratification, the quick answer, the easy solution. But are we actually thinking about what happens down the road?
All right, so let's get into it. Our first section is all about where that crazy 47% number comes from. And it comes from this pretty new study. It's not even peer-reviewed yet, but man, it has got everyone talking.
So here's the setup. Researchers over at MIT got a group of 54 college students and broke them into 3 teams. The task for everyone? Write an essay. But here's the twist. Group 1 could only use their own brains. Group 2 got to use Google Search. And Group 3, they got ChatGPT, and the whole time they were hooked up to brain scanners to see what was really going on up there.
And the results? Whoa, they were wild. The brain scans showed that the students using ChatGPT had get this, a 47% collapse in brain activity compared to the group that didn't use any tools. It's like their brains just switched into low power mode, just coasting.
Okay, but it gets even crazier. After they wrote the essays, the researchers tested their memory. Like, hey, what did you just write? The brain-only group, they did great. The Google group, they were kind of in the middle. But the ChatGPT group, oh man, their memory scores absolutely tanked. A whopping 83% of them couldn't even quote their own essays correctly just minutes after writing them. The information it never stuck.
So, what is happening here? I mean, why is offloading our thinking to an AI having such a huge impact? Well, it all comes down to a really basic principle in neuroscience, one you've probably heard before: use it or lose it.
The key idea here is something called cognitive load. It sounds technical, but it's super simple. It's just the amount of mental effort your brain needs to do something. So when you're really wrestling with a tough problem or trying to learn a new skill, your brain is under a high cognitive load. It's working hard.
And the experts have this perfect analogy for it. Think of it like going to the gym, but for your brain. Tackling those hard, high-load tasks, that's like lifting a heavy 20-pound weight. You're building cognitive muscle. But always choosing the easy path and letting AI do all the heavy lifting, that's like only ever picking up the little 2-pound dumbbell. You're just not going to see any growth.
And this is where it gets really serious, why this matters so much for the long haul. Neuroscientists are pretty much unanimous on this. Staying in that low-effort, low-engagement zone for too long is linked to a much higher risk of things like dementia later in life. Those brain pathways we stop using, they can actually start to weaken and fade away, just like a muscle you never use.
Okay, wow, that sounds kind of terrifying, right? But here's the good news. The story is not AI is bad for your brain. That's not it at all. The experts are really clear about this. The technology isn't the problem. It's all about how we choose to use it. Is it a tool or is it a crutch?
And this is the really important part. One of the neuroscientists said it perfectly. You can absolutely use AI to become a smarter person, but you have to be smart about how you use it. It takes a deliberate, educated approach. So the goal isn't to throw these tools away, it's to learn how to use them as a partner, not as a replacement for our own thinking.
So what's the difference in the real world? Well, using AI as a crutch is when you just ask for the final answer and then, copy-paste. You're just passively consuming. But using it as a tool, that's totally different. That's when you treat it like a sparring partner. You do the first draft, you come up with the core ideas, and then you ask the AI to punch holes in it, to give you feedback, to help you make your own work even better. See the difference? It's passive versus active.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? How can we make sure we stay on the tool side of the equation and not the crutch side? Well, this last section is all about that. It's your practical, brain-proofing blueprint for using AI the right way.
The experts boil it down to 3 really simple habits. First up, amplify, don't replace.
That means you do the hard work first and then use AI to make it better. Second, critique the output. Don't just take what it gives you as gospel. Question it, check its facts, push back on it, make it work for you. And third, alternate. You have to intentionally switch it up. Spend some time working with AI, but then make sure you carve out time for deep, focused, brain-only work. You got to keep hitting the mental gym.
And look, beyond all the fancy AI talk, let's not forget the basics, right? The experts were quick to point out that none of this new tech changes the fundamental rules of brain health. Getting regular exercise, which is still probably the single best thing you can do for your brain. Never stop learning new things, getting good quality sleep, and eating well. Those are and always will be the foundation of a strong, resilient mind.
So here we are. We're standing at a really interesting point in history. This technology, it's just going to keep getting smarter and more powerful day after day. That's a given. So the only real question left for us to answer is the one right here. The AI is getting smarter. Are you?